Hello, Year 9, and welcome back to Week 9, Session 3, where we're still working under that overarching aim of planning and researching a speech. Now, just to clarify, so far we've been working collectively as a group. We've used the shared example of developing an invention, a plan around the topic of child labour. Now, today, there's going to be much more space within the lesson for you to start to make choices about your own potential topic and to research, okay? So that's really what we're going to be moving on today. So far, we've been using child labour as a collective example. We've worked together around that example. Today, there is going to be an opportunity for you to make your own choices. But before we get to that, I've got a little bit of a warm-up for you, okay? So just let me explain it before you begin. So it says up here for our daily review, a student's research into potential topics has been mixed up. Which fact and which spokesperson goes with which topic? So this is a student, bless them, they've done some lovely research and it's all got mixed up. So if you look, they've got 4 potential topic areas: stand against racism, protect our environment, protect the rights of members of the LGBTQ community, and protecting children. But look, if you look at the stand against racism strand, that fact doesn't really back up that topic, does it? A recent survey by the Gay and Lesbian Alliance Against Defamation found that 12% of the population identifies as LGBTQIA+. Whoa, those two things don't mix, do they? They don't match. So there's not a match there between the stand against racism and the fact. And look at the spokesperson, Tom Hiddleston, UNICEF ambassador. But when we were looking at UNICEF yesterday, that's to do with child protection and looking after children. So actually, that research and that spokesperson, they're all mixed up. So your job is to match the correct fact and spokesperson to the topic. Now, guys, if you have the capability, you can just do it on your screen. You can just draw a line to match up. So which fact would go with stand against racism and which spokesperson do you think would be the best match? So you could just draw a line to create that links. If you haven't got that capability on your computer, all you might do is write down racism, a little word or phrase to remind you of the right fact you would choose, and the name of the person that you would match it to. So you might say stand against racism goes with this fact, goes with this person. Okay, so just pause your screen and I want you just to sort out this information so you have the correct fact and spokesperson for each topic. Okay, and then we're going to go through the answers together. Okay, guys, so stand against racism. Which fact is the correct match? Brilliant. That one, third one down. Thousands of people have marched in the UK as part of Black Lives Matter demonstrations following the death of George Floyd in Minneapolis last month. So there's our fact to go with our topic of standing against racism. Now, which spokesperson would best represent out of these potential 4 that issue? Brilliant. Beyonce. So Beyonce calls fans to action over BLM, over Black Lives Matters. So our topic is racism, our fact is thousands of people have marched, and our spokesperson is Beyonce. So guys, remember, you only need to do this as note form because it's just warming up our brains, reminding us that we can use facts and spokespeople to appeal to logic. Okay, so protecting our environment. Which quote and which person did you go with? Sorry, which fact and which person did you go with? Brilliant. Industry and motor vehicle exhausts are the #1 pollutants because that's to do with an environmental topic. And who would we match it to? Brilliant. Greta Thunberg, climate activist. Brilliant. Now, topic number 3, protect the rights of members of the LGBT community. So that would be our fact that 12% of the population identifies. And who would be your spokesperson for that topic? Brilliant. Ellen DeGeneres, actor and TV presenter. Okay, finally then, well, by elimination, we can do this one quite quickly. Protecting children. Okay, there were 4.2 million children living in poverty in the UK in 2018 to 19. And a spokesperson would be Tom Hiddleston, UNICEF ambassador. Now, really, this process to illustrate what you're going to be doing today. So although I'm going to talk you through the process, really today's lesson is you having time to complete it. Okay, so let's have a little look. So the first thing, again, that some of these things might show you is there is a huge potential of areas when we're going to create our own persuasive speeches. So really, what's really important in this process is that we make some quick yet strong decisions early on, because we don't want to be halfway through writing a speech and then discover, well, there's not enough information on it. I don't really get what I'm going to say. I don't have enough information. So the importance of invention of the planning stage is that you know that this topic that you're going to speak about, there is enough information, research, enough arguments to sustain it and keep it going. Okay, guys? So you are going to create your own thesis, your own idea today for something that you're going to prove and convince others to agree with. So you might be setting out to prove that we need to take a stand against racism. You might choose to prove that we have to protect our environment. You might choose to prove that being kind is the most important thing right now. You might choose to prove that protecting the rights of the members of the LGBTQ community is a moral duty. You might set out to prove that it is a moral duty to eliminate homelessness in the UK. You might set out to prove that girls in sports deserve equal pay. You might set out to prove that we have a moral duty to reduce plastic pollution. So, guys, the potential scope for ideas is huge. Okay, if you did a separate Google search, topics for speech, for speeches, topics for debates, topics for arguments, there is a whole array, a myriad, that's one of my favorite words, a myriad of topics. So the first thing I would encourage you to do is go for something that you are genuinely interested in. You might want to set out to prove that we have a moral duty to end testing on animals. You might set out to prove that we have a moral duty to stop the illegal wildlife trade. You might set out to prove that we have a moral duty to reduce the voting age from 18 to 16. So you actually have a huge potential of choices. So how do we, A, stop ourselves going down the rabbit hole of I could write about that, I could write about that, I could write about that. Well, the test we're going to use is not only do you have a topic, but that you can very quickly, in other words, today, come up with at least 3 to 5 arguments for, 3 to 5 arguments to support your view that we should, and at least 2 arguments against. Now, the reason that's your test is we might think I'm really passionate about stopping animal testing because I feel that that makes me angry and I don't think it's a very nice thing. But when I actually sit down to do it, my arguments that support that view, I might not have actually a lot to say. I might be, well, it's just wrong, isn't it? It's mean, it's cruel. But I don't really have enough arguments to really say, well, that's the one, that's the topic for me. So you are going to decide today what your own topic is going to be. And you're going to copy and complete the statement. We have a moral duty to take a stand against racism, to protect our environment, to be kind, to protect the rights of members of the LGBT community, to eliminate homelessness in the UK. We have a moral duty to stop plastic pollution. We have a moral duty to end testing on animals. So you can see the green, highlighted green, that's your first decision you've got to make. What do I want to prove and convince others to agree with me on? What I always love this from Family Guy. What really grinds my gears? What am I really passionate about? What really makes me upset? Or what do I really want to draw people's attention to? So in other words, you're going to choose the topic for your speech. Now, to test that that topic is going to work for you, you are going to create a for and against table. Okay, and here the magic numbers really are 3 to 5. If you can come up with 3 to 5 arguments for your topic and 2 against, that shows that you're passionate and you know enough about this topic to make it a worthwhile idea. Now, this is different to research because research is what we do after we've decided on the topic that really suits us. So it could be if I'm torn between, do I want to write about plastic pollution? Do I want to write about eliminating homelessness? Well, actually, both of those are ideas that I feel something about. I feel like they would upset me. I agree that homelessness is wrong. I definitely want to reduce plastic pollution, but I don't have the arguments. So this is how we test that your thesis is going to work. So I want to see a statement we have a moral duty to, and a for and against table. Okay, so just press pause and give yourself a chance to do that now for your own topic. Okay, off you go. Okay, guys, actually, I've just quickly put those phrases on as well to remind you. So you've chosen your own topic. We want to reduce the amount of plastic pollution in our oceans. So 3 because statements. Because plastic pollution is impacting on wildlife, we must do something to reduce it. Because plastic pollution is a problem we are responsible for, we must do something to address it. Because plastic pollution leads to the death of 20 different types of sea animals, we must stop it. Because my dog is barking, I lost my train of thought, and because plastic pollution, ... So guys, do apologize for the dog barking, but as you can see, we've got those because and must statements for our 4 tables. So when you're planning it for your topic, use those statements if you get stuck. And then on this side, but some might argue, but some might argue. So we want at least 2 counter arguments. And we want 3 becauses. Okay, so that's what you're doing now, and that's what's going to be recorded in your book. Okay, guys, so that kind of planning, that's like gut planning. The ideas in my head, the feelings I have towards the topics, and prior knowledge I might already have based on the news I watch or what I read. So the next stage then is to just secure and flesh out that with a little bit of invention. So we're going to just focus here on doing a little bit of your own research. So facts, research, and a quote. Now, the reason I ask you to repeat your arguments for your because statements is really you want to be able to correlate, which means match a fact, a piece of research, and a quote with each argument. You can't have 3 arguments and only 1 fact because it won't have the balance that we need when we get to turn our ideas, our inventions, our plans into our writing. Also, we just don't want pages and pages of facts that we can't correlate and match to an argument. And the best speeches find the right fact, the right research to back up the point we're making. So if I say, okay, because plastic pollution leads to the death of sea life, it must be stopped. I need to then find facts or research or a quote from somebody that backs that up. So I might want to go and research now using the magic of Google, a fact that tells me how many animals or sea animals have been killed this year. I might want to go and research the ways in which animals are being killed. So we know that there are those stories about plastic getting trapped inside the esophagus, the pipes of animals. We know that we've got research that suggests plastic pollution is impacting on their habitats. But if I found a piece of research that said animals were killed by the oil being spilt from boats, now that is about animals being killed, but that isn't to do with plastic pollution. So it wouldn't be the best bit of research to go with that argument I'm making. So this is why I just asked you to look and use this table layout, because I'm really supporting those of you that can be aiming for the highest grades in these speeches. And one of the ways we do that is through corroboration, where my fact, my research, my quote backs up the argument I'm making. So you could present your research in this table format, or you could just present a page of notes of facts, research, and quote. I would love you to have a mix of all 3. Some statistical information that backs up your topic, a spokesperson that's spoken around your topic. So we are repeating the same process that you did yesterday around child labour, but this time for a topic of your choosing. Okay, so this is you choosing now to research for a topic that you yourself are interested in. Okay, so you're going to complete your table, and that's going to give you your first level of invention, your research into facts, research, and quotes that can be used to support your arguments for your own topic. So remember, that's why it's in bright blue at the top here. You are now choosing your own topic. We all have a moral duty to reduce plastic pollution. My arguments for plastic pollution kills animals, plastic pollution impacts on the food chain, plastic pollution has reduced the quality of life for sea animals and humans alike. So then I'm finding the facts, research, and quotes to back up those ideas. Okay, and that's what you're going to do now.